All right, YouTube, I am really excited to bring to you a new knife. Today I got in the mail the Ontario Bushcraft-Woodsman. 1/4 inch thick, stainless steel, beautiful knife. I am so excited for this. Hardwood handles. Um, this is possibly the sharpest knife I've ever received. I mean, it is absolutely screamingly sharp. I'm going to go over the negatives real quick because there are a few, and I'm kind of surprised, but I love the knife and I'm keeping the knife. So firstly, you can see that it appears that a drunk person did the grinding on this edge. You can see where it's real tight and narrow here, and then it just goes wild up here in the middle, like completely wackaroo grind, which is not a big deal for me. I know for a lot of collectors that would be like a really big deal. So just something to be aware of. And the other side is much more uniform as best I can tell. It seems to be pretty uniform all the way up and down the edge. This side, it looks like I grinded it on a bench grinder. And I did not. I just opened it and this is what I received. The other kind of disappointing thing, as far as like a knife collector would be concerned, is, and I'm sorry, my camera's not real good, but this grind that comes up to the spine is different on each side. On this side, it comes up and notches into the spine. And there's a much better focus. You can see where it notches in, where that grind comes up. The other side, it really doesn't notch into the spine really at all, visibly at least. I can feel it with my finger, but where that side grind comes up, you can't really see anything here. On this side, you can see a deviation. The other thing that I'm a little disheartened about is that the knife is pretty wonky down the straight line. It kicks off to the right, and then the tip is not even close to symmetrical. And you can see that very tip grind, I'm trying to get this to focus in on it here. It's really hard on a cell phone. I wish I had a better camera to show y'all this. But the tip is not even close to squared or even. I mean, you can see that right side is way, way different from the left side of the tip. So that is just like, dude, what were you smoking when you grinded that? And then the whole thing, is kicked off. The blade kicks off that way from the handle, and there's not gaps in the handle, but the wood sticks up above the spine, which I think that would be better if that was flush. You can see wood sticking up on both sides, and this side is flush, so it's good. But I mean, it's a beautiful knife, and for my purposes, it's fine. I'm not gonna send it back or complain or anything. I think it's an amazing knife. And actually, the reason that I purchased this knife is because it's stainless steel. And living in coastal North Carolina, I do a lot of kayaking with my kids on the salt waters around here. And my large carbon steel knives, I mean, that salt water just absolutely rots the steel. So I think this will be wonderful. 440 high carbon stainless, nice thick chopper style. And after I got done with my complaining about it, which I really don't want to complain about it because I do absolutely love this knife, and like I said, I am keeping this. I am so excited about this knife. You know, the if you wanted to micro examine it, then there's imperfections, but I'm fine with that. For one thing, it's American made, it's handmade in the US, and that's priceless to me. And the job the knife will do its job. It is a solid workhorse type of knife. And I got to show you my absolute favorite thing thus far is that the guard does not get in the way of the edge. Like you can, like in the kitchen or at camping, you can cut and that whole edge comes down to the, countertop, and the guard doesn't block that. And I did see on another review that the gentleman had kind of complained that where this finger choil runs up and just, I mean, it meets the edge directly. There's no guard or anything up here. So you could run your finger up this and right onto that razor sharp edge. And I actually really like that. That there's nothing in the way of this edge. It is just, this knife is all edge, top to bottom. The blade is just, every single millimeter of that edge can put in work. Whether you're on a flat countertop or chop and brush, this is designed to absolutely work. Bushcraft-Woodsman, Ontario Knife, USA. And these handles, I am telling you, the camera does not do these justice. Because all the reviews that I had watched on YouTube of this knife, every single review, I thought, when I receive mine, first thing I'm going to do is strip those handle scales and refinish them so they'll be pretty. Dude, I am here to tell you, these are gorgeous. Smooth, sexy, just perfect. Fits the hand so well. The shaping of this, where the guard and then this bump out on the handle, it just fits your hand. I mean, the person that designed this knife is an absolute knife genius. And I thought too, because I'd heard on several of the reviews that it's very forward heavy, a very forward heavy chopper type, real forward heavy. No, not at all. It's heavy and you can hit something really hard with it. It's basically a sharpened steel crowbar, but the balance point is right in front of, or right at the base of the blade itself, right in front of the handle. That's the balance on my finger. And to me, that's perfect. So the balance point, yes, is just forward of your top of your hand here. Your balance is up here, so you get that little extra force in a chopping motion. But, the center of weight is not, up in here. The center is right here. Just an absolutely incredible, gorgeous stainless knife. And I am telling you, I was absolutely shocked at how sharp this blade is. I like to think I'm fairly good at sharpening my knives, and I own several knives that I try to keep very sharp. But this one, out of the box, I ran it down the side of my leg, and I mean, the hairs just flew off. Absolutely incredibly sharp. If I would even try to touch this edge, all I could do is make it more dull. This thing is an absolute freaking razor blade. So that's my new toy. I hope this review helps. If anybody's on the fence about getting one, definitely get it. Now, if you're a hardcore collector that's all about the micro details, then that's some things to watch out for, because that right there, if I would try to resell this for more than I paid, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that would be like, hey, that knife is not perfect, perfect. But it's definitely perfect for me, and I am very happy with it. The sheath is, and this is just me being honest, the sheath is terrible. I have an SP10 Marine Raider Bowie, and I also have the SP something Bolo knife that's 1/4 inch thick, 5160. I don't remember that model number, but those sheaths are much, much better made than this. This is, I'm a little surprised. And the knife, I'm not even sure I can get it in one-handed. It fits, but you are going to have to force it in. That the last, for whatever reason, this last little bit trying to get into the sheath is really, it is really hard to get in there. And then the retention strap here really doesn't want to fit. I mean, I got to get both hands so I can hold the sheath, and I have to actually pull this as hard as I can to get it. It doesn't, and I know it'll stretch out over time, but that misses that button by a 1/2 inch. I'm just straight up. That button's a 1/2 inch wide. This misses it by a button's length. And, so that'll stretch out. And the cool thing, though, is it does have this pouch that I guess you could put, a fire starting kit or something like that in there. And I really like that. That didn't come on my SP10 Marine Raider or my Bolo. And every time you get an Ontario knife, the stupid sheath is bent up so that when it's hanging on your side, that end flares out. Every single time you buy anything Ontario, you get this like severely bent like that. So I'll stick it in like like the wire shelving in a closet. I'll stick that flap into the wire shelving and let the knife's weight just kind of hang on it and force that kind of straight or even bent down a little. And after about a couple, 3 or 4 days, that'll quit being bent looking all crazy. But guys, I'm gonna tell you what, for a stainless steel knife, like that sucker is bad. I normally take my cold steel Marauder Bowie kayaking with me. It's stainless steel, it's lightweight, and it has a hard plastic type sheath, the GFN glass filled nylon type sheath. But the problem with the Marauder Bowie is it's a fighting knife, so it's very thin, well, at least much thinner than this, and it's very, very, very light. So you can't really do any chopping to speak of with the Marauder Bowie. Now this sucker here being stainless, you can take it in salt water, and with a little bit of care, it won't rust. High carbon stainless, nothing likes ocean water, including high carbon stainless. It will corrode and all that, and I know that, but I think this will be a lot easier to keep clean with, if I'm on a 3-day kayaking camping adventure in the salt water and I come back and it's started to get some tarnish and rust, I can take some emery paper and get it off. Whereas something like my Marine Raider Bowie, after 3 or 4 days being exposed to the ocean, I mean, your edge is actually starting to rot away and become pitted and dull. And, so then you're really having to clean it, grind on it, sharpen it. So absolutely gorgeous knife, guys. I am so thankful to have this thing. I mean, it's just a beautiful knife. Absolutely 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Gorgeous knife. And I swear to you, I'm not lying. Those handles, like on camera, I don't think you can, my camera's not good enough to really fully give you the depth of just how pretty that is. I absolutely love this handle and this knife. This is going to be my daily carry for a while, I can tell you that. I really, really like this. So thank you guys, and thanks for watching, and hope this helps. and enjoy.